announcers playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. They took my innocence without an alibi. Smoking gun, you got me on the run. We know that will come. We're out up till dawn, but how can I hide it without an alibi? It's a lover's fight without an alibi. Took my innocence. I can't wait no longer. I'm playing with the monsters. Everything that brought me alive. Oh, we're all like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a lover's fight without an alibi. They took my innocence without an alibi. Getting lost in memories, the surface deeper. Want it all surrounding, feel it ease. Shining. Shining through. Getting lost in memories, the surface deeper. Want it all surrounding, feel it ease.
You can hear me, you cannot. There you go. Hello everyone and welcome to today's stream featuring Verax, Green and 5 fighters. Now I'm joined here by Patrick. Hello man.
Hello everyone, I'm glad to be here. This is my first time in a long time casting and I am happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, and our main man on production that's usually here, the MVP of the streams, is playing today, so I'll be handling everything and casting, so it's going to be a bit of a different experience and not as high production as we're usually used to, but still, we're going to have some fun, right?
Of course, of course. Also shout out to the man himself, Big Fudge.
He's saving us on here. I have no idea how he does it. Anyway, to speak of today's game a bit, we have Verax Green. So our now promoted team. It used to be the lowest rank. Now it's in the 4th division. They came off of week 1 last week, 1-1 in their games. I wasn't privy to how they went exactly, but still they're sitting, it's 1 week, but they're sitting in the middle of the pack, right?
Yeah, right. And I mean, going 1-1 in the first week, I wouldn't say it isn't too bad, especially since you have to consider that the Green, they made some changes during the off season
Yeah.
and whatnot, and they are now back. And as you mentioned, they were before the lower division. They were before in Division 5. Now they are in the Division 4, which means they've gotten an upgrade slightly. From what I can tell.
Yeah.
Especially considering that the other Verax teams are like, our team promoted to Div 2. That's great, but even though the Verax Green, they got a little up, the other team suffered and dropped down the division and now playing Div 5 instead.
Which was a surprise to us all, honestly. We already made plans. We had meetings. Okay, we're gonna have Green in Division 5. We're gonna have License in Division 4. It's gonna go good. And then the announcement comes out. Oh, License Division 5. What? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it might have something to do with some people not playing any solo queue at all, I must say. Maybe a certain individual.
Maybe. But speaking of Green, I like that you touched on the roster changes. So Moomin, Little Moomin, who was previously the mid laner, has moved to jungle. And Verzeus is back from, 2 years ago? Back in mid lane. And Solodira has left the team and was replaced by Morty on support. So quite a few changes since last season.
Quite a few changes indeed, especially it might come to surprise to some that Lil Moomin have decided to role swap. Well, I've met the guy and talked with him about the changes, and he wanted to do better for both himself and the team, and he thought that might be a good change for him, and I must say it's not looking too bad.
Yeah, and I have to say I've played with him as well on the team, on Green as well. He is the Phil MVP. He just plays anything. He's like, guys, I'm mid now. Oh, I need to go jungle. Yeah, sure. I'll learn jungle in a month and a half and just play that in a, it's not one of the pro leagues, but still it's a competitive scene. People do train here. They go on scrims. They try hard, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do jungle. I'm fine with that."
Yeah, he has such a great role that he's like, I must say it, multi-talented. He can do anything just for the greater good of the team.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, we have 5 fighters now. They went 2-0 in their first week, so they're technically the top of the ladder. Top of their group. So, but still, again, as we said with Green, it's only the first week.
That's correct, and you might not see a lot after the first week because you don't really know a lot of the teams, how good they are. So you might think that just because 5 fighters they went 2-0, they might be the better team, but mayhaps their opponents were like the bottom of the table, and it's just fake data that we have that they are currently on the top.
Well, we're gonna see the fake data after today because we're gonna see them, properly play from start to finish all their games and not just the stats that come after the fact, right? But looking from their OPGG, I'm very interested to see this mid lane because we have I don't know is it Yipi or Hepe, depending on where you come from in the world, sitting in Masters. And it's going to be a nice clash with Verzeus in the mid lane.
it really will be, considering a master player in Division 4 is something not that we see very often, I must say. Not even in our division there are so many master players. A lot of people are still like diamond.
Yeah, we're still we're still unsure exactly who plays. I haven't received the up-to-date information, as some changes were made recently. But if El Jefe does play, it's gonna be at least a fun match, if nothing else, right? And SOL is known for its very, very, how should I say, reliable skill disparity in groups.
Yeah, for sure. What I'm thinking also about is how the bot lane matchup will be, since we have a new support in the Verax Green, and we'll see how their synergy is building up in this new season. And I must say, I've seen our boy in the AD carry Verax, RIP or RIP, how you want to say it. He has been on the grind. He is
Yeah.
now D2, almost hitting Masters. He has some great potential from his games that I've seen, and I am looking forward to see how the 2v2 on bot lane will look like during this games.
Yeah, like you say, it's true. He has been grinding. I think one of the most play. He has the most games out of, I think, anyone on green. I guess Fudge is up there as well, but still, if I look at his OPGG directly to see anything special, he has played 150 games this season, 156 games, with a decent win rate, like you said, climbing up to Division 2, and mostly played jungle, of all things, but has been spamming that Misfortune recently, so we might see something spice in that direction.
Yeah, Misfortune has rise in popularity because of the feats of strength mechanic with the upgraded boots, how much movement speed you get, especially from the boots of swiftness that give you that percentage movement speed.
True.
Plus you have the Misfortune W that makes her go really fast on the Rift, which might not be too balanced, I must say.
That's always one thing that struck me with Misfortune. It's not the Q damage, it's not the ultimate ability, it's just the sheer mobility she gets from the W buff. If you miss, you can cheat a recall so easily. You can push out the enemy, go back, and come back without them realizing you left even.
Oh, yeah, especially now with the changes to the home guards, she gets back to lane so fast. Like, you can do so many things and not get too punished for it because of the movement speed that you get and how fast you can come back to lane.
True. And no matter what, no matter the meta, she's always powerful. That lane pressure, the ultimate, always fun. I mean, fun for the team playing it.
It is for sure, but we have also like the bot lane champion pool has been wider and wider this season, considering how it was from the year prior.
And sorry to actually interrupt you, we're in draft.
We are looking at draft right now.
And green is taking the red side for the first game and 5 fighters on the blue side. I should stream this to our lovely co-caster here so he actually sees what's going on. There you go.
Oh, of course, and we have
An immediate...
we see the Wukong ban and the Viego ban,
Yeah.
and now we have the Urgot.
So Viego is something we didn't touch on in our chat earlier. So Galet Ilv is a Viego one-trick pony with about 85% of his games played this season on him, with a pretty good win rate as well.
Yeah, and considering somebody being a one-trick, you have two things you can do against them. You either leave it open and say, I dare you to pick it, and then you counter it, you draft around it so you can mess up with the guy, or you ban it and then you force him to play something that he's not that comfortable on.
True, but on the other hand, if you're playing in a competitive environment, or at least in a structured environment, it is expected that your one-trick pony is going to get banned, right?
Well, it really depends on which type of champion you play, because if you play something that's like your one trick and it's kind of meta, you will for sure get banned. But there are some champions that are very niche, that are not often playing competitive, that maybe people are not that afraid of, and they will leave it open because they will think, well, it's not going to work 99% of the times, so there's no reason to ban it because they probably won't pick it for the best like draft for the team.
Maybe, but on the other hand, if that pick is Viego, it is competitively pretty good. So, and anyway, we see a Mel first pick.
They're very classic. We've seen really a lot in both ERLs and the highest tier, that people are just like, Mel's open, all right, first pick. She's like the new champion. Everyone's like, wow, her W is so broken. She reflects spells. And then like people try to come up with counters, but right now in her current state, I feel like she has like no bad matchups. She, like, in the worst case scenario, she goes even in lane.
And from what I've seen, in specifically in SEK mostly as well, is her played bot.
There has been scenarios where you just first pick it and then you make the enemy think she's going mid lane, and then you move her to the ADC or APC in that case position. And we see now Ornn being picked up by Verax Green, which is pretty like unique and stable pick for Fudge.
Unique, unique is one way to put it. It is his rock, his true love in life, where if it's open, he's gonna pick it and he's gonna be happy.
Yeah, but I mean unique in the sense that if you see Ornn, you think of Fudge. It's like his creme de la creme,
Yes.
you know?
True. And a Xerath as an answer to the long range of Mel.
Right, you're trying to outrange the Mel, and now you see Jarvan being picked up and Cassante, which is sort of like a handshake on top lane. You're like, yeah, we play tank versus tank. It's probably going to be an island. Not much going on.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun. We're just gonna farm. Maybe a Jarvan is gonna come up there, but not really. It's just gonna be farming. And this Jarvan, I like the pick into the Xerath very much because it's an immobile champ. Okay, it has the stun, but if you stun one person, then you have Mel on top of you as well. So it's
Yeah, Xerath is the immobile, especially when he's ulting, he has to stand still.
Yeah.
That's why he's going to be an easy pickup. Same goes with Misfortune, actually. She's very mobile, and then when she presses that ult, she has to stand still, which gives the Jarvan an opportunity to catch them on the flank, for example. But considering there is a Xerath and a Misfortune, I'm seeing that they will try to look for like a disengage or a combo that will have some type of poke and some type of range, so they can play around the Mel. And also that you'll see Jarvan and Cassante, which means five fighters will probably go for a team fight composition. They will want to scale a bit, give the Cassante some items, give the Mel the items that she needs to get those cooldown reduction, to get the poke that she has, so that she can just farm her spells, be annoying, and and just like focus on the power spikes that they have on their champions. We see now Rel being banned and Amumu, which indicates that they are focusing highly on the support to pair with the Misfortune. And I'm interested to see what Verax Green will pick on or for here.
great analysis, and correctly, I think five fighters agree with you, even though they can't hear you, is that Green wants kind of an engage, something to facilitate in their support, because they have very, very little mobility, very little agency in their other picks. And Vi being picked up by them. So there's the agency from the jungle.
And we see now we have a lot of CC that we can lay on top of each other. You have the Vi ult, you have the Xerath E, you have the Ornn ultimate that you can just lay on top of one target and just pick them off guard, which gives an opportunity to play the fights easier when you get that one person that's out of position from five fighters.
Oh my god, the composition there is. This is spicy. No
This is
ADC.
very interesting. Swain being picked up. I mean, it isn't that bad considering you have Misfortune, Vi, and Ornn, which are sort of a short range. And now, if you're going to pair with the Leona, Swain will have a lot of room to just stand there and be annoying, have that slow with Rylai's, have that tankiness, or depending on if he goes for the more AP build with Leandris, or if he goes for the more tanky build that we have seen from, for example, Bwipo in the LTA North, that he is going to gun the tanks when with Rylai's, with Unending Despair, and that he's just like standing there being super annoying.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be Mel bot lane with El Jepe on the Swain. Now, I agree with you. This composition from Five Fighters is a very, very do or die composition where you do not have an AD carry, you have very little damage, you have good sustained damage, and fights are going to be very hard for Verax Green to win straight on front to back. But later on, you're going to start losing that objective damage, you know, right?
Right, but also I really like the composition from Five Fighters because they have the tools that they have the Mel and the Seraphine, which means they can play poke. They have the Swain and the Jarvan, which means they can play team fights, and they have the Seraphine ult with that as well. They can play like either they can play back or they can play front and just go really aggressive. They can do a lot of things and like they can adjust their playstyle with how the game is like in what state the game would be.
And honestly, on the other hand, we have Green with a very standard composition for them. Teamfight, front to back, or Fudge on the tank top side. We have Moomin with some agency. Versus Xerath is obscenely annoying and very good. I was a doubter of Xerath, not going to lie. He single-handedly changed that opinion, and now I think it's an insanely powerful champion. So it is. It's going to be a clash of styles, so to say, in this game, right?
Yeah, I agree, but speaking of the Xerath, I was always a big fan of Xerath, especially when we had champions like Azir in the meta that were picked more often, that you would want to have something that has the range, has the damage, and will be like the one to be like poke, and you can like especially considering the Xerath Azir matchup that I'm speaking of right now. Xerath does what he does a lot into those mages that want to scale is that he will outrange you and he will poke you out of lane, so you will have harder time to catch as many CS as possible, to accumulate that gold, to get those out items, to get those power spikes that you want. And he's also really good with champions like Vi and Ornn because he has a lot of pick potential, especially with his ult that got buffed. It was a while ago, but his ult got buffed that you get more shots from his ult the more you level it up, and
So
it does insane
ago.
damage.
This was years ago, to be fair.
I believe it was like last year. They like changed it and gave him like more, like even more. Like they added like one more because he had, I believe he had 3, 4, and 5, and now he has 4, 5, and 6 on his like ultimate.
To be fair, I have a very skewed perception of time in the past few years, but okay, I stand corrected. As we are slowly approaching into loading into the game. Who would you think won draft without nameplates, without ranks or anything, just raw on paper? Who do you think would have won?
Without nameplates, I would say that I can say that. Okay, I have two takes. One is that, in my opinion, Five Fighters have a better draft, but Verax Kai have easier draft to play. And sometimes when you draft a harder champion, so where you have a few things that have to go right for you to play it out, you will struggle when you unfortunately, maybe you make 1 or 2 mistakes early and you fall behind, your composition will be super hard to play and come back with. Meanwhile, when you have those easy tools like you have Vi Ultimate, you have Fudge with the Ornn Ultimate, that is just like one button that can change the whole game around and can flip a fight even if you're from behind.
True. And with that, we are live in game with 5 fighters on the blue side, continuing their streak, well, hoping to continue their streak. And on the other hand, we have Verax Green taking the stage again with a completely new roster, well, mostly new roster, trying to reclaim that first spot.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And now that I want to correct you because the last time Zerav got the changes was in the patch last year, which was 14.9. So I am correct that he got changed not that long ago, actually. It wasn't years.
Stop making me realize my skewed perception of time.
I'm sorry. I had to do it too.
All good, man. I honestly thought it was much longer. I genuinely, if you would put a gun to my head, I would say 3 years. But
Wow.
yeah.
Well, now what we see here is that we are doing classic 5 points, scouting for vision, seeing if enemy trying to pull some something out. But I think we'll have pretty standard route for both junglers starting on the red side.
I'm forgetting the leak controls for the vision. It's been some time since I've done this. But we're just gonna see some standard lanes coming out. Where do you think action is going to be happening, if anywhere?
I would assume there will be a lot of action in mid or in the bot lane, because in top lane, I mean, sure you have the Ornn and Cassandra, but you will probably want to leave them alone. Like especially the Ornn, he wants to just chill, catch the waves as much as he can, get the XP, get to the later stages of the game where he has the item upgrades. And bot lane, you have Misfortune that you really want to get ahead, you really want to get her going. But on the other side, on 5 fighters, you have the Mel and the Seraphine, which also likes to just chill, get the items, get the power spike, and then after you get the 1-2 items, you will get going, you will show your true power as a champion.
Yeah, true. And as we see some trades, where do you think the junglers are going to go? They're currently pathing opposite of each other. So Garrett Elf is looking towards that top side, and meanwhile Moomin is looking towards that bottom side. And I have to agree with Moomin here, because I think Rip and Morty have very, very good setup on towards the bot side of 5 fighters.
You have a really good setup from the Verax Green bot lane, and I think especially early levels you can dive the bot lane of 5 fighters. It should be an easy job if you have the correct setup. Meanwhile, I am not really sure why 5 fighter jungler would want to go for the top lane. I would assume that Cassandra will have
as we were
pushed.
But
as we're talking,
missed the
we
fact
have
that
the first
we see Versus actually going on pretty well, hitting all abilities on El Hep. El Hep even flashes away under his turret, and Versus takes the kill with an auto attack, and that's
a solo bolo.
And like I said, this mid lane is going to be explosive.
It really will be, and now you have to consider that 5 fighters mid laner, he does not have the TP, he plays Ghost. But now we see Jarvan coming on the top side and forcing the flash from Big Fudge. I'm not sure if he was in the EQ range to get the knockup, but better safe than sorry. He flashes away, he gets the recall, and he will probably just TP back.
Oh, no, he actually cancelled.
Or...
Oh. What have you done, man?
What?
No.
What?
No.
Will I recall or will I not? He decided to stay.
Mega Hulk is pretty low, so maybe that's what skewed him, but I still think he would have been back by now almost.
But I think what he wants to do is he wants to crash the wave, which forces the Cassandra to TP. But in other case, the wave was frozen under the tower, and he would be able to just walk back to lane without using the TP. So he will have that TP advantage on him. So I think that's a good play from Fudge, but he also wasted a lot of time trying to recall twice.
Okay,
But now we see
second
the
screen.
now we see the TP, and we have to match. We see Vi hovering topside, which maybe will suggest that Big Fudge will want to fight and bait out the Cassandra because he thinks, look at me, I have level advantage, I'm
here
stronger,
go-
and now that's what they see. The Vi goes in.
And Vi goes in, misses everything. Realistically, Mekako just walks out without any issue. Wall breaker not connecting as Moomin wanted it, and it's just gonna be a good trade for Fudge, and that's about it. Meanwhile, Garrett Eve on the mid lane versus does not have the flash from
flash
the
on mid lane.
earlier. Lands the stun, a lot of damage on Yepa. He's actually 2 levels ahead, and second ultimate
He's
hits. It's
getting
gonna be a 1v2 kill from Versus. Can he get out now? Reimer's out. Actually, Moomin with a good flash wall breaker, immediately stopping Garrett Eve, and here comes Morty from the bot side. Garrett Eve is stunned up, gets W'd from Versus, has to flash away. Can he get out? One more Q from Versus is not enough, but wall breaker from Moomin is, and that's gonna be 2 kills on the mid lane from this skirmish.
What an interesting play. It was going back and forth. We were just counting on the Xerath. Will he die? Will he
Actually,
not?
top lane,
What's going
Big
on?
Fudge ulting Ornherd is called. Mekako just stops it through, and now Mekako has an option under turret, but Fudge just walks out. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No worries. There's a lot of action going on. I don't know what happened with the Xerath. He just completely sidestepped everything, got not hit by the Swainy or the Jarvan EQ, and then he's just like standing like a boss, ulting, letting the Jarvan auto him to try to auto him to death, taking the Swain once again, putting him on a position when he's 2-0, and we can see the item difference. It's a lost
Intro actually
chapter
gets
versus the-
stunned up. I'm sorry to break you again, but is level 5, is on 400 HP. Will he need to flash you in a way? A lot of damage coming in, a lot of burst, and it's gone. Bringen takes the kill. And it's a overstep by Verax Rip.
I don't know. I mean, I think he just didn't expect the damage. I mean, Mel has the Sork shoes. Plus, a lot of people don't take to the consideration that Mel has the execute on
Actually,
her.
sorry to break it again, but Morty going in onto Bringen, and that's just going to be it. He's going to zone them out until the dragon is taken. It's a bit more awkward now without Rip, but here comes the W from Misfortune. He's already back while this dragon was being taken, and it's going to get secured by Green. Morty misses the E, and Bringen and Ninja Heist are out. Sorry to interrupt you again.
Really nice attempt from Deliona, trying to catch them when they're hovering around the tribush. But again, the Mel that many people don't take to consideration, that she has the execute, and it does not only work on her spells, but she also can just like auto you to death.
And actually, we see ultimate from Garrett Live onto Fudge. Fudge does not have the flash from earlier as well, but Mecha Hulk is very low. Ultimate from Versus will not be enough as Mecha Hulk manages to flash away. Now, can Big Fudge get away? There's no EQ combo from Garrett Live, but one more Q will not be enough as he just misses Fudge.
The Q misses, and we have both top laners getting away. That was
Slivers of HP.
very close with 2 ultimates wasted, one from the Xerath and the other one from the J4, and we just walk away, say like, alright, you know, you use an ultimate, I use an ultimate, we're all happy, nobody dies.
Yeah, everyone's happy. Still, Fudge's flash will be up much sooner than Mecha Hulk's, so maybe some playmaking potential there. But the top laners are getting more and more tanky. There's going to be less and less opportunities presented here, realistically, even with the damage coming in from the junglers.
And what I want to point out is that look at the difference in the mid lane. Xerath is dominating, forcing Swain to go Merc for his first item since he has.
Actually, on top of that, I was lying. Mecha Hulk gets knocked up, and here comes Moon with the ultimate as well, and that's a kill. A sneaky one I didn't even see, and it went over a ward, and Mecha Hulk is punished for that flash earlier.
That's a really great pickup from Verax side, using their power right now. They know that he is flashless, they know that they have the Vi ultimate, they can just point and click, and this guy is dead because, you know, Ornn, he's not only the tank. Everybody knows Ornn from being the tank, mage, support, assassin, warlord, skirmisher, support. He is everything just in one.
An actual ultimate
But
coming in
now-
from Ninja Heist. Morty doesn't. I'm kind of angry at the bot lane of green here. I think Morty ultimate and Rip ultimate and just one of the players dies or has to flash from firefighters here. But they elect not to do it and just play much more passive. But here
playing
comes the mid laner, Angativ,
have the
on a
Jarvan
perfect
and
location.
the Swain.
Both flashes up from Morty and Rip, and good ultimate onto Brigham. And here comes
Now we
the
have to
ultimate.
be-
There we go. But Brigham tries to block it, but is not enough. Ultimate comes down,
Alright.
does not do much either. Versus from
Zera
the-
ultimate.
Versus from Narnia killing someone. Now will Morty go down to El Hepe? No, he will not. Rip just cleanses nothing, and that's 2 kills for the side of green again.
That was a really, really good attempt from firefighters, but you do not have the damage. You have to see the Swain, he goes on the flank, he finds a great position, but what can he do when he has Merc Threats, Tear, and now Ruby Crystal?
Yeah.
He is just standing there being like, oh hi guys, I'm participating. Sort of like the guy that comes to school when you have a school presentation and he just signs the paper. He's just like, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, he was just there. He almost got a kill. Although, at least the guy that comes to school presentation doesn't give the opposing teams money. Which
Well-
El Jefe did.
Well, you can say that sometimes the people, when they're doing the presentation, they will make it worse so that the teacher thinks that the other ones did a better job.
Maybe actually. Fair enough. But yeah, as you point out, we see Verzus very, very far ahead in this lane. 1200 gold at 11 minutes as this grub play is being set up. Now, Moomin caught out.
Nice,
half
he was
his
going
HP. And I think Jar's going way too far forward. He just gets stunned up, locked up, and Moomin picks up the kill. And now Morty's coming forward. Ninja has to blast Kona away, and that's it. It's just going to be the pickup from onto Garrett Ilv, and there's going to be a Verax Green taking over the last 3 grubs.
Yeah, you can already tell the item difference makes a lot here. Like, you can see that the Jarvan find a good spot to go in, but then you just have the Zerav and the White turn on him, and he's basically one shot. You have Zerav with 1 item and the Darkseer, and on the other side you have still just a guy with some shoes.
Okay. Eventually, this guy is going to be so strong, and we're gonna laugh at at how weak he was early, and he's just gonna take over the game.
But that's the thing, you have to consider that Verax Green is playing really good. They're getting
Yeah.
ahead. They're trying to snowball the game, but they and I know that they should have it in mind. And they probably have that they are pretty much on a timer.
Yes.
Because at one point of the game, you will hit the power spikes on the Mel, on the Swain, and the game will just sooner or later become unplayable because of the team composition that they have. Because you just get outscared and you will not be able to kill the Swain because of you have the Swain healing from himself. He will be very tanky. Plus you will have the Seraphine just constantly healing, shielding, and speeding up.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I do not think Verax has the team fight potential if they're not. Oh, it's a lot of damage. If they're not very far ahead. And actually, on the top side, Garrett might be a bit caught out. Here comes Moomin, does not have the ultimate for a few more seconds, smites him down. Overboard being called, Garrett is knocked up. A lot of damage coming in from Verzus, from Narnia, and the wall breaker lands. The ultimate lands. Garrett manages to actually get away, but Mechacoil alls out Moomin under the turret, but now it's Mechacoil that is in trouble. Moomin barely survives the W from Swain and walks away. A flash from Big Fudge will confirm the kill. Now, can El Hepe do anything, or can he just, does he need to run out? He needs to run out.
I think he just needs to run out. He does not have the damage himself, and he sees his jungler being low. He cannot join the fight. Like, it was very, very close to get that kill from the Cassandra. They all out almost got the sweet shutdown.
Like, I keep panning towards his bot lane, because at some point Morty will press that ultimate button. Maybe now he goes in onto the Mel here, but holy damage that's returned. And actually now Rip might be in trouble. But no, Bringen guts down by the damage. Rip does not have any more mana. One more Q. No, he gets the turret. Ninja High Spike get away. No, he actually does not. But Rip pays the price. That misclick will cost him his life. Oh, never mind. El Jefe would have come. Morty, you are as good as dead.
Oh, he's not. He gets the kill. It's so unfortunate. Like Rip, please next time just press the button to target Triangle Zombie. It would be all good.
You're an AD carry.
But we can
bind it.
But that play from Morty shows us how Leona is really good into Mel, because if you use the E on Mel while she's in the W, she will pull herself towards you instead, and the ultimate does not get blocked by the Mel W, which means that you will get an easy time getting on top of her, and then you have the Misfortune ult, which is so much damage that you already saw, and just the auto attacks that finished the job and got the kills. Unfortunately, had to trade one in return. The unfortunate auto attack on the turret.
This is getting so annoying. But yeah, I kept panning down towards the bottom because I knew at some point Morty is just gonna press a button and it's gonna be a fight. And everywhere else but the bot lane, there was a fight.
Yeah, that was something that I did not expect happening. I would assume that Verax Green would want to fist fight the bot lane constantly, try to put pressure, especially early on those two champions. But now we see
Mechacolt might be in trouble. Morty Solar Flare lands. Mechacolt still hasn't used that CC blocking ability, and he's taking a lot of damage. There it is. He's on a quarter of HP, all out for some distance, but gets taken down. Moomin on a killing spree. Oh, look at that good CC from Billion and Ninja Heist. Now Moomin very low. One more ability will finish him off, but is not done. Morty actually managed to get out, but here comes Zeus from the bot side, gets one kill, and then one more ultimate hit will do it enough, and that's Zeus with two more. Has to flash away from El Jefe. El Jefe goes, flash, and a lot of damage, a lot of healing from him. Now, here's the tankiness. The damage doesn't matter because Moomin and Rip do not have the damage to kill him, and Moomin has to run away as well. No more flash. One more thing, something to look at him, and he dies, but no, he wall breakers away and is fine.
They're saying, how bad is ADC? You have two items of Misfortune, not doing any damage to a Swain that's it's so far behind that only has a Rallies. What is going on?
No armor, by the way. Zero.
No armor, just MR boots, by the way, yeah.
That is pretty sad, especially full lethality. This should be, you should be chunking that Swain, but that is not the case. Although interesting to see, whenever Rip presses his bullet time and Bringen presses his W, so the reflect, Rip just dies.
He just dies because the ultimate gets reflected. That's why you want to line your spell, chain your spells with Leona in the way that Mel does not have the time, or she is forced to W early so that she cannot reflect that much duration of the Misfortune ultimate to get her low, even though she wants to be the one getting one-shotted by the MF and Leona combo.
Yeah, and I believe, wait, just to be sure, she converts it to AP damage, right?
She does convert it to original damage as magic damage on the W, yes.
So she applies original damage and then applies her magic penetration.
Yeah, it does not work like the Silas ultimate where it still does the original damage, which means when the ultimate does a physical damage, it will deal physical damage, but it will have the AP scaling to help the Silas. But this W ability, it just reflects the damage as magic damage, so no matter what type of damage it deals.
The only thing is it applies Mel's magic penetration. That's why it is so valuable on her as well, especially in a scenario where she can then reflect such high spells. She can reflect Ornn's ultimate even, and that I think is going to become very, very crucial in the coming fights.
It will be, so you will, but also now you put a lot of pressure on the Mel because she will need to think, do I reflect the Ornn ultimate, do I reflect the MF ultimate, what do I press the W on to help my team as much as possible?
True, but in the position you're now, 6k gold behind at 19 minutes. Green is on soul point. Now taking the Herald as well. I think you're not panicking yet as firefighters, but sooner or later, if green accelerates a bit more, it's going to become very hard to actually fight them in this mid game. Hello, Patrick, did I lose you?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna continue
Oh.
talking. That's why I hit the post. No, my bad.
All good, all good.
No, but right now we are looking at the mid lane now that we had our eyes on. You see now the Hepe with 2 kills and him going towards the more tanky build, as I suggested. He's going to realize, and now he's working towards Fimbulwinter. And I think that would be probably the correct place, since you already have a lot of magic damage coming from the bottom, from the Seraphine and Mel, so you want to have some type of beefy front line. So you will have the Swain and the Cassandra in the front, not letting Verax have the backline access that they really want.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. This Fimbulwinter pickup on El Hepe is very, very good. You saw how hard it was to kill him earlier. Now imagine that with a lot of resistances and even more healing.
Of course, and we have to take into consideration that Fimbulwinter procs on slows as well, which means you have the Radice and you will have Fimbulwinter, which means you will be able to proc a lot of times when you spam those Qs, but you will get the shields and you hit the E. And now I would assume if you go for the more tanky Swain fight, you would want to go towards the Unending Despair, which gives you both MR and armor and gives you that healing when you are constantly in the fight. You deal magic damage around you and you're healing for the percentage of the damage that you deal, because as a Swain you really want to go in there and just stand on top of somebody and be like annoying.
And now we see Green hovering this Atakan on the top side. I really think they want to do it, but they haven't had the opportunity to actually start it. There's some very good words from in the parts where Green was for quite some time. So Green not doing a good job of clearing it out. So whatever happens, firefighters have an exact idea of what's happening.
Yeah, they have a lot of vision. We can see on the minimap there's a lot of blue wards on the side around the Atakan, because they know it will be an important objective. And we see, would you look at that, that's the competitive classic, the GA Atakan, not the Rose one.
And Green has started this with full knowledge of firefighters. And I think Green thinks that they're in no vision, but these wards have been alive for so long. Anyway, here comes the Versus ult. Ninja Highs just walks away, and the ultimate not doing much, only bringing El Hepe down to not even at 2/4 of his HP. And now firefighters have control over this Atakan, and you know, in the bot lane, yes, you're getting towers, but this is just a throw, I think, from Green. Here comes the ultimate from Morty, and a good ultimate from Lila Moment gets interrupted finally by the Jarvan here, but Jarvan goes down. The ultimate from the Ornberg is reflected, but Mega Kulk is dead, so is Rip. Now, El Hepe, can you be the tanky one? Can you be the sustained one? There's not a lot of damage anymore with Rip dead, but the respawns are coming in. Big Fudge and Morty, together with the Rezus, managed to get the Atakan down as Moomin actually... Oh, Moomin survived. I thought Moomin died in this altercation, but it's a 3-for-1, 4-for-1, and the Atakan.
They got the Atakan revive. Moomin does not have it anymore. He died with the Atakan, so he got the revive of 15 seconds. So they got the 2 picks, and I think the misfortune was before the Atakan was taken, and the Vi had to unfortunately lose the Atakan, but in the end they got it, so they have a little bit of more gold when they get takedowns from the Atakan passive, and the one-time revive that they do. Now, if you want to go on objective with the Atakan, you have to consider that it does not work like a GA, so it will not respawn you on the initial base that you die. It will respawn in base, which means if you're going on the attack and you lose the fight, you will respawn in base and you will let enemy take over the objective. But will the firefighters be able to contest, or will they just be zoned out and the objective will be secured for that? We see now Gava going in.
Good ultimate from the Seraphine, but no, Mooma actually secures it and Garrett Eve goes down. And that's Soul for green and an 8,000 gold lead.
The Java trying to go for the hero play, that's all he really got. He didn't want them to get that extra slow that the lightning chain from the Hextech Soul gives, the sort of like an old static shift kind of thing where you had the lightning chain and now it slows as well, which will help a lot to both wave clear and catch the enemies. But we see now Verax Green trying to get the Baron on spawns, just starting it. They have the attack on GA, but they have to take into consideration if they die here and the Baron will get low, they will take over the firefighters, will take over the Baron and might be able to turn the game around. But I'm not sure if they will be able to contest because the Baron is very low. Will there be a steal or an attempt to steal, or will it just be secure?
Ninja Heist is very close to the bottom. Good bullet time across the entire enemy team. Mel does not reflect enough and ends up going down on the bottom side, not before actually getting her ultimate off, but Moomin is unstoppable. 2 members already down from 5 fighters. Now on the bot side, Mecha Kolk and Garretiv actually doing fine. El Hap is doing great on the top side, actually gets Verzus, and this Baron take was taken by the side of green, but they're collapsing. 4 members dead. Actually Rip, not dead, revived. The rest of the members dead, and Fudge running for the hills, and only his Baron buff remains.
Yeah, and this fight was really huge for firefighters. This one getting the 1,000 gold from Versus, and he will be now
actually,
so much more.
Rip overextending. Manages just to flash away. Now Mecha Hulk might be in a bit of a trouble, but no, actually manages to just dash away. And
the MF got the Baron buff as well.
Oh, true. Oh, the Atakan does not.
Yeah, the Atakan does not take away the buff. Because in the Atakan fight, the MF died before the Atakan was taken, so it counted as a death. So now she had the Atakan buff and she remained the Baron after it got taken by Verax Green.
But that's 2 objective bounties, bot and top turret, as well as 1,000 shutdown that El Hepe claimed onto Versus in that fight. And the gold lead went from 9,000 to about still a pretty good 6,000 gold here.
Yeah, we can see now with the longer the game goes, the scarier the champion becomes on the firefighter side. And now it's the time. At one point, will they just go in, get a 5-4-0 because the champions are just stronger at that point, and will be able to come back in the game, or will we see Verax Green trying to get the lead with the Baron, get the turrets, try to push them back to their base, get the waves in, so that they are forced to play reactively to what Verax Green wants on the map.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Now, I think if you're green in comms, you can be sitting happy like, oh, we have a lead, we have Baron, we have this. But I think honestly, they need to end with this Baron. Otherwise, it's gonna start getting harder and harder to contest fights.
I don't think it would be.
Yes, we see Morty going in. Immediate knock-up onto Moomin to prevent any follow-up. And El Hepe has popped his ultimate. Moomin actually world breakers out, and Morty is now in trouble. There's no follow-up, and that's just going to be a kill. The bullet time does realistically nothing. Almost kills Moomin. Oh, the comet will not be enough to burn. Moomin lives with a sliver of HP, but as you saw, it's so hard now for Green to approach these fights, and maybe the timing window is over.
As I said, there was a timer, and now the time is ticking more and more. The stronger the firefighters become, the harder it will be to play fights. Because, sure, earlier you had the tools to one-shot somebody because they did not have the items, they did not have the tankiness and the healing from the Seraphine. But now it's so much harder. You will at some point you will not have the damage to kill anybody there, and the fight will just become unplayable for the side of Verax Green.
Yeah, and this gold lead, yes, it's 7,000, but 7,000 in 30 minutes, it's substantial, we have to say. But if we look at the members, it's only about 700 in the mid lane. It's only about 1,000 in the bot lane. And those are the ones that really count. The main gold lead on Verax Green's team is Fudge, which he's on a tank. It's not really all important, but Mechaholt might be called out here. There's an entire distinction of players from the green here. And can Mechaholt get someone over the wall? He can, it's Morty. But here comes Versus ult, and bam, that's one comment that's gonna take him out.
He tried to get on top of the MF and maybe ult her, but he did not, and the all-out came a bit too late with the Leona, and he was so low that it was just a matter of time when he got finished up. A good pickup for Verax Green, and as you mentioned before, the majority of the gold lead is now on Big Fudge. And you might say it's not a big deal, but you also have to take into consideration that you have the ornaments, the orn upgrade.
Lumen actually goes in on top of Gatif, he manages to flag drop away, and actually ultimate's back. And now again we see this corridor fight from the side of firefighters that they love, but El Hepe gets taken down before anyone else does. A good solo binding onto Bringen. Now can they get this smelt down? Flash forward from Versus, the W is late, and Verax actually manages to take out the Mel finally. Now can he get Ninja Height as well? Yes, the rune will actually be enough, and now can Green finish the game here?
The first track finishing off
you have to go for the finish. You have to go for the game end.
Probably want to get 2 inhibs. I don't know if you will want to finish the game right now. You might consider that it might be the best idea, but I think you just take it safe. You take 2 inhibitors.
I think this is unsafe.
Even more back.
I think this is unsafe. I think you have 2 tanks up on the enemy team. I think you can take them, honestly.
You also have to take into consideration that they are tanks, but they have had good wave clear, and they're now looking good. The Java looking on the flank, or maybe not. To see now the green. Will they start the?
This is going to go down on a fight. You don't have Rip ultimate. You don't have Movement ultimate. Meanwhile, you don't have El Hepe's ultimate and Ninja Height ultimate. All of them coming up soon. You have to be, like you said, and this is going to be a very, very awkward dragon standoff for both teams. Green needs to recall for items and to rejuvenate, whereas firefighters have to recall because their base is in shambles from the 2 inhibitors.
Exactly, and now we see Green walking up the Ornn, face checking and seeing that the Jarvan is
actually,
there.
Movement is going in correctly onto Garrett and a lot of damage onto him. The ultimate will not be enough, and Bringen has to flash away from the comets of Versus, and that's going to be another pick, crucially, on the jungle by Green.
The jungle is dead and the Drake is started. I would not expect it to be an Elder game, to be honest, when I looked at the team compositions, but here we are, the Elder Drake taken by Verax Green.
And now Green has to fight
confidence, and now they're trying to get the fight.
Popping the ultimate, but a lot of damage from Versus. Look at that. Pops the Zonios as well, heals up a lot, but you have to think this is going to go down here, right?
But and he is alone.
With him. Green, please, I would beg you at this point to end the game.
But wait, I don't know. Wait, did I see the Baron pings or did I see pings on the Mel? I think they just want to take away the Mel, and they have Versus TP.
Don't take to end the game, guys. Okay.
You are going on the Baron. I don't think you need that. You have the Elder buff. You are stronger in fight. You can just go like face tank them and go at them saying like, we are so strong, we can just one-shot you in your own base and end the game. And you see there's 30 seconds on the man, at 25 was it when they started the Baron on this Swain. They really did not have that much weight here then, except for Seraphine.
I honestly think attack clicking mid was the correct play, but they are attack clicking top now regardless. No wave setup realistically, so this is going to be a straight top lane push. A lot of damage from Rip, and actually Versus just kills the Seraphine from Narnia without even seeing her on the screen. And here comes 3 inhibitors down. Solar Frame for Morty hits nothing but slows down the enemy team. The wombo combo on 3 players, and that's gonna be the game.
Mad trying to see if she can pull something off, but I don't think she can. It's a 1v5 and they're just trying to finish the game back, and she gets one shot triple kill for Rip, and that's the game 1-0 for Verax Green.
And they were 20,000 gold up by the end of that game. And well played to both teams. And honestly, it was a very fun game.
It was a very fun game to watch, even though the Verax Green had the lead from the start. They had 6k, 8k at some point, but at the time we saw Swain get those items, Mel get those items, and Seraphine having those items. We saw that they could turn the game around if they found the opportunities, because they were looking strong in the fights despite the gold deficit that they were in.
True, exactly. And honestly, what do you think Five Fighters should do different for the next game?
I think since they will be playing from red side, you should be looking to get one really strong counter pick, whether you want to play for bot and having a support counter pick, or you want to play for top and have that top counter pick and try to pressure from some point on the map, and as well as you want to play like an easier composition, because you will want to have the team coordination, but we saw that Verax Green had very easy tools, and they knew exactly what they had to do to win the game and get the lead.
And before we go on to a quick break, there's a player of the game poll happening on Twitch now. Who would you give it to, Patrick?
I think we have to give it to the Horny Horn.
I would give it to Verzus. I think he just, I mean, not really solo carried, but from the solo bolo on the mid lane to a lot of damage and just consistency that he brought was paramount for Green's victory here.
And you know what I'm gonna say to
Or
that?
Lumen as well. Yeah.
They always ask who is top, but they never ask how is top.
And with that, we're gonna go into a quick break, and we're gonna be back in a few minutes with game 2.
Maybe I'm colorblind. Don't know where I lost the colors. I only see black and white. Come to think of it, but it all comes back when the moon gets low, dancing in the afterglow. And when the room starts spinning and my eyes are closed, feeling like I'm not alone. 'Cause there's a ghost in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. I build a wall under the sheets, and when I'm dreaming that you're here with me, I close my eyes, keep us alive. Someone please turn off the lights. 'Cause there's a ghost in the machine. I only see you when I go to sleep. There's a ghost in the machine. I'm dreaming that you're here with me. There's a ghost in the I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find. Don't let the sun go down. Don't let the sun go down. I was angry before, but I circled the drain in my mind. I can't find. Don't let the sun go down.
I need to unmute myself every time I go back. So sorry about that. And we're back with game 2 of Verax Green and 5 fighters here.
Yes, after the game 1, it was really. You wouldn't say it was close looking at the goalies, but it was closer than you would think.
So
Looking at the stats itself.
I'd say gold lead wise, 20k ahead at the end of the game. You know, it's like it's a stomp. You know, it's an easy game, and I think Green was in control basically the majority of it, and they played really well. The only thing I would say, they could have ended the game a bit earlier, because as you were saying, it was getting very, very hard for them to actually contest the enemy team in the fights.
It was, and if this game would go, I don't know, for another maybe, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I think 5 fighters could just like turn it around, because they would be like, yeah, now we are definitely stronger than you, and you cannot do anything about us.
Yeah, honestly, it was getting scary. We saw how tentative Green became at some point. They could fight. They were stronger. They knew they were stronger. But it was hard to approach fights where if you didn't land your spells perfectly, the enemy team could just out-sustain you and just win the fight through that.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm proud of Verax Green. I think
it's doing
they they knew what they had to do, and they had the plan. They got the early lead as they were supposed to, and for the majority of the time, they were in the spot where they had to. They played proactively. They knew what they were doing, and they had the game in their hands most of the time.
Yep. And I've asked this question to you before after game, but now we can do it this game as well. What do you think firefighters have to do differently? Because I don't think it was. I don't think it was that big of a just skill difference. Yeah, green is better. They win every time, every time of the week, right? Well, what do you think firefighters can do?
I think, as I mentioned previously, you just like if you want to be on the same level with another team, you will want to play like an easy draft. You know what your goals is, you know what your tools is, and you just utilize the tools as much as possible. And since they are like easy, like let's say for example, you have the Vi and the Ornn ultimate, you just press one button and you know what you need to do. Meanwhile, when you have the Swain, when you have the Mel, when you have the Seraphine, everything sort of at some point has to go perfectly for you. You will have to have the Swain in the team fight tanking. Then you will need to be on a good position with Seraphine to get the ultimate on an angle so it extends and hits all of the members. Meanwhile, with Verax Green, when they had the team combo with White, you just press one button, she flies, point and click, slams them on the ground, and you can just like one shot one target, which makes it easier for you then to continue fighting, whether it's on objective or in a team fight later on.
Yeah, and Moomin, props to him as well. He was sort of the rock of the team, going in when he needed to, didn't overextend, got out from sticky situations, did a lot of plays around the map. And that's also, I think, one thing that firefighters were lacking in their composition is this playmaking. Because the only person, apart from, okay, Xante, sure, but the only person was the Jarvan that could actually do much when they wanted to, right?
Yeah, and also when you have the composition like five fighters, when you have a lot of things that have to go right for you to make it work, you will need a really good communication. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. And not everyone would be on the same page, which means that Seraphine would want something else, Swain would want something else, and maybe the Dravan would want something else. So that messes the whole team dynamic up and makes it really hard to play out the fights when you're not on the same page, or when you are not as a team, you don't know what you want to do. But with Vi and the Ornn they had, it's like very telegraph for the enemy team. Like they know what Verax Green wants to do, but if you have that thing where you have good communication and you play around enemy spells, enemy mispositioning, you will be able to hit those combos at some point, no matter what.
Yeah, honestly, true. And one thing that also I think firefighters were banking on is that Green is just gonna handshake everything. They're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna chill. We're gonna scale on all of our things. We're gonna scale Xerath. We're gonna scale on the Ornn. Or we're just gonna not do much. And then at that point where you're done with not doing much and like, okay, guys, let's do something, firefighters just too strong of a team composition.
Yeah, but firefighters, they maybe think that some of the teams are like playing very passively and they're like scared to do things early, because if you mess up, you will be in a disadvantage. And for some composition, it might be hard to come back to the games. But Verax Green, they had that in mind, that they knew what they wanted to do and they did it. They were not scared to make plays, to sometimes maybe take some risks, and it paid out in the end.
True. It paid out. Now, I don't have any updates for the next game. We should be getting into it soon. It officially, the time I started 5 minutes ago. So, as I say that, I cast a curse myself. I got invited to the lobby, so something is happening. We're gonna hopefully go into game soon, actually, as all players are in lobby. Now, do you think that Xerath's gonna get banned immediately?
I don't think Xerath can be banned immediately. Maybe if you are scared of the Xerath, you will want to leave that last pick to the mid laner, and maybe if he picks the Xerath, you will have something prepared that will counter the Seraph and he will make his life miserable in the game. So you can take advantage of the red side last pick that you have. And speaking of picks, we are getting now into the draft.
We are indeed getting into the draft. The only thing is I do not see it. Why is it not? Hold on one second. We are in draft. It is just not. It reset as a source. Okay, it's back. We are in the ban phase. An immediate ban on Viego again.
Well, I think we might just see similar bans from both sides. Maybe a one ban change from firefighters, but I think Green should probably keep the same ones that they had the last game. The Viego, the standards, the one trick taken away, and now we have the Orgot taken away from firefighters.
Yeah.
And we'll see if anything changes now or if it will be the same with so far. Cogmav, another ban that we had. Now the Misfortune taken away, so they are afraid of the MF in the bot lane, and Verax will have to pick something else, and we'll see what they will cook up from the blue side.
Yeah, and we talked about this Misfortune being very, very strong. Now, do you think Green has the capacity? They have practiced enough to first pick Mel here, because I don't think it's going to get banned out.
I think Verax Green maybe have not practiced that much practice on Mel, but they have practiced against Mel, which will mean that they maybe don't want to pick it. They will want to force enemy to pick it, and they will play into it, how they did last game.
So, do you first pick Ornn or do you first pick Mel? Because I think the other team is getting. There's going to be a trade. One team's going to get one, the other team's going to get the other.
I think you can go for the Ornn, but now we see that we don't want to show a lot right now, so we just go for the Jinx first pick. She's a strong hyper carry. She is really versatile. She can play a team fight comp. She can play a reset comp. I think that's all right. And we having Yumi hover, which will probably not happen. We have the Wukong.
Like Jinx is one of the most versatile AD carries. She's just good at all stages. And Wukong is a very good diver, which Jinx hates. So it's a good not really counter pick, but response pick by firefighters here.
Yeah, I think it will be the Wukong's job will be to get on top of the Jinx, to not make her be able to get that reset, to just run around in fights and be able to just kite everyone. And we see the Varus response, sort of like a handshake in the bot lane. They probably, if they decide to go for the poke Varus, he will have more agency in lane, but later will get outscaled by the Jinx, especially since I'm not sure, but if I'm Verax Green right now, I'm looking for an Enchanter pick in the bot lane, looking at the Wukong and the Varus. But we have here Ornn, very standard, very reliable pick for the top lane, as well, not showing anything right now. And will we see a jungle response here, or will we just complete the bot lane with the support pick?
So
I would, if I was Green, I would want to have the jungle probably here and leave the support to the second phase.
Milio actually from Morty. Now, just real quick, I wanted to look at Bringan's match history regarding Varus. He has played one game this season, lost it, and this was quite some time ago. So I do not know which he prefers. So
yeah, we'll see the Lulu hover, which will suggest that we will go on hit Varus here.
Fair enough.
If you heard that Enchanter with it. And I think that's a really good one, because you see Enchanter being picked by Verax Green, which is the Melio that you have. He will, in my opinion, have like a stronger laning phase, because Melio can play really aggressively with his Q that deals a lot of damage that people don't expect. But Lulu with the Varus, I think it would be very, very annoying to sometimes play the fight. Like imagine just Lulu walking up to you and you give somebody like Ornn polymorph, so he cannot just ult you.
Now with the recent changes on major pro playing leagues, with the Fearless draft coming in, we've seen some resurgence of enchanters when other supports have not been available. But when was the last time you saw a competitive, a structured game with 2 enchanters in the bot lane. So enchanter, re-enchanter in support.
It has been a while, but as you mentioned, considering the fearless mode that is presented in most of the regions right now, you have people, in my opinion, and a lot of teams, when the other support picks are out during the fearless match, you have the realization that maybe the enchanters are not bad. Maybe they are actually strong
True.
champions.
True.
And we saw the rise of Lulu, for example, being picked in many regions, as well as sometimes even we had the very boring pro play classic, which is Zeri Yumi being picked. I think it was in LCK a few times.
Yeah, it's flashbacks from the time where Zeri was OP, and if you got Zeri Yumi, you basically won the game. So the game revolved around those 2 picks, regardless.
Now
Xante
we
being
have
picked up.
Cassandra.
Yeah. By Maker Hulk. Like his performance was fine. Nothing wrong with his Xante performance from the last game, and it is such a safe pick. And it's gonna be a repeat of the matchup from last game.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, you leave the mid lane counter pick, which means you want to do something against Versus. And you have this Skarner, very strong and very forgotten pick by many teams right now. And we have the Ari to pair it up in the mid lane,
You have
to have this the setup, the pick potential. As I mentioned, you have the Jinx, you can play for the resets, which Ari helps you a lot with. That she can go in, get the charm, get the Jinx to get the reset, and just go and
I
pop
think
off in the fight.
I think Mel is an insanely good pick here. I'm not sure into the matchup in the Ari, but instead El Jefe opts for the Azir, which is also very good.
I think Azir makes a lot of sense here, since you have his soldiers applying on-hit effects, and you have that Lulu, you have the Enchanter that can boost you up and get you the DPS in team fights later on. And you have better, in my opinion, Azir have better scaling than Mel in that sense, and he should have better team fights with his ultimate, with the flanks that he can get, especially since you have knock-up on the knock-up on knock-up. You have the Wukong ultimate, you have the Azir ultimate, and you have the Lulu ultimate.
But the team from Green is so beefy. Ari has sustain and she's mobile. Jinx is the only one, sure, but then you have Milio paired with it being so sticky and annoying, and Skarner, Ornn, just pure tanks in the top side. It's this Varus, if you are poke, you're going to have a very bad time.
I don't think you would want to play poke. I think you would want to go for the on-hit variant. And speaking of the Milio, you know that Milio has the ultimate that he can cleanse the CC for his team. But the thing is, most of the CC on the side of firefighters is knockups that you cannot cleanse.
The only one you can cleanse are Lulu's, hard when it comes to hard CC. Lulu's Polymorph and Varus's Chains of Corruption.
Exactly. Which would mean that at some point he would lose some value, considering on the ultimate he will mostly use it probably for the heal. But as I said, you have strengths in both compositions. I think Verax Green, they have a very specific thing they want to do. They have the Ari for the setup with the charm that they want to get the reset onto the Jinx, get her going in the team fights. The Ornn ultimate as well, really good for the picks. You have this corner on the flanks, Ori on the flanks that can be really annoying if you play really good around the vision. But I am afraid that at some point, if you have the Azir, you have the Varus, and you have the Lulu, it's like, for me, it's pretty much like a last game that now maybe Verax going to have more late game tools than they had last game. But I think Verax Green will have also a harder time if they manage to get somebody on firefighters ahead. And with the Enchanter, if you scale enough to those, like probably 2 items on Lulu that you can buff that 1 carry, you can just 1v9 the game.
And we have a poll in the chat for about a minute more. Again, nameplates off. Who do you think won the draft?
I think I like firefighters draft more, in my opinion. Might be biased because I'm a Lulu main, Not gonna lie, might be biased. But you know, I really like what they're going for, a teamfight composition, as well as that they have the tools to cheese early game with the Wukong. And yeah, go on.
Sorry, I would be inclined to believe to agree slightly, but also this, it's, in my opinion, both teams have the exact same composition. You're losing a bit of agency mid lane with the Azir pick, but you're getting it with the Wukong pick. And then bot lane, you're losing some agency with Lulu, but you're gaining it some with the Varus. And it's just, both teams want to do almost exactly the same thing with hyper carries, with scaling the upside tanks. So it's an odd one, but that means it's going to be that more close.
It will be for sure close, and now we see that the Azir now taking the TP when we had the Swain on the Ghost last game, and now we have the Varus on the Ghost, not taking a defensive summon rather than more, in my opinion, more offensive one that you can use later in teamfights for fighting, and as well as in the laning phase to play more aggressively to be able to run the enemies down.
True. But I also think it's going to be a showing of 5 fighters on a bit more conventional composition. And as we immediately go into a pause, as I was saying, this is now a battle of, so to say, conventional compositions, whereas the previous it was a battle of, can 5 fighters pull off this crazy comp they've got together with no ADC, with all that tanky APness.
Yeah, I think this game we have 2 more similar compositions, with them being the more easier standard compositions with we have a jungler that has some type of CCN setup, we have a mid laner that will scale, we have an AD carry that will be a hyper carry beast because we have an enchanter that will boost him later, and we have a tank, beefy tank in the top side with them being Ornn Cassante.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it's very... Oh, we're back in the game. It's going to be very much in Versus' hands to make this Ahri work enough to potentially get leads in the early mid game with that agency, because out of all mid lane champs, I think she has the best potential to make changes in all lanes, right?
Yeah, that Ahri is a pick that I would want to see him trying to play more around his team, because the Ahri is Ahri used to be, before her mini rework, used to be more of an assassin, a burst, have a lot of burst and a lot of one-shot potential, when now she still has a good amount of damage, and when she's ahead she can get the one-shots, but now she's more like a utility champion, where you have the malignance, that you have a lot of ultimate CDR, that you can have the ults that gives you also resets in team fights, that you can be the mobile, the annoying guy that, you know, always threaten with a charm to set up for the team, because the charm now does not have what it used to have, the MR reduction or the MR shred that it used to have. So it's just you're more trying to play around your team than around yourself with the Ahri pick right now. And what I want to see is that the Ahri will be able to pull the flanks off, get somebody on the charm to have the reset for the Jinx.
Yeah, and we just see both side lanes of 5 fighters pushing into Verax, and both junglers this time heading towards that bot lane. I think they really want to get their hyper carries ahead.
I think so, and we see now the Lulu and the Varus having the prior early, being able to crash the wave under the turret. And
such an annoying position to be in.
but you have to consider that, as I mentioned in the draft phase, that Varus do have more agency in lane than the Jinx. Jinx will have to play a little bit more laid back. And if you went for another type of support with the poke Varus variant, you will have even more pressure in the lane early. But you're going for the on-hit scaling, which is also fine. That still gives you the advantage in lane because of how much raw damage that Varus have, the base damage that he has with his W, with the stacks, the percentage damage that he gets in his kit.
And now we have two enchanters bot. You don't expect kills and like 2v2 fights much apart from just normal poke. As actually the enchanters is gonna see each other here, but Garrett knows that Moomin is here. Moomin has to be on the back foot now. Takes quite a lot of damage, half of his HP, as Garrett is still chunking him down. But Ninja Heist actually gets chunked down as well. Almost goes down to this W. Is below 100 HP, but that's just gonna be a quick trade. Crucially though, Gallet Ilv gets the Scuttle Crab and is now pathing toward through mid, gonna thank his mid laner for help and go towards top because Moomin is on less than half of his HP.
We see Versus trying to cover for his jungler to be able to get that Scuttle and not
Fudge
give
as well. Good team play from
the double
Green.
Scuttle. A really good team play, and going back to the bot lane fight, I give the Lulu so much respect for not using that heal, for knowing
Patience.
that you can just shield yourself, you have the patience, and you know how much damage output the enemy has, and you survive there. You now use your pots, sure, but you see that enemy doesn't have the pots either. You are in a bit of disadvantage, but you still have not burned the Summoner's Crest that will be useful at some point later. And you see now trying to have a little bit of fight, you get the poke on the Jinx, but she will get healed up by the Milio W that I always forget the name because it's such a long name for a basic ability, to be fair.
Let's check. Cozy Campfire.
It's a cozy campfire, yeah.
The benefits of being the production as well. You can just do stuff without asking production. Anyway,
Now, yeah, Big Fudge being pushed up in the top lane. Will we see Cassandra wanting to reset, or that he will stay and try to pressure on the guy? I think what he's looking for to crash maybe the next wave and then get a recall off with TP. We see now Varus just zoning them from the wave on the bot lane and zoning them from the golds and trying to poke them out of the lane. Force them to recall.
I think this is a mistake from Rip, though. Honestly, he should recall here. You're losing CS anyway, so just use that time to run back and get the HP, get the items, because this is dangerous. Each minion take can be your death, because one slow lands from heist and you could be dead.
It might be, but you have to take into consideration if you have the freeze or you zoning somebody from the wave and you see them recall, you can just match the recall, come back to the lane, be in the better state and keep on zoning the enemies because of the champions that you have. And now the wave slowly pushed towards the tower and Jinx trying to get as much as she can, being now around 10 CS down, which is a slight advantage for the side of the firefighters. And now they're getting the recall, or maybe not.
Yeah,
now
they're getting the recall because Galatov is trading the dragon take for the grab take, and I think this is a big mistake from Bringden. He's losing a lot of what he has gained from his lead in the bot lane. He's going to be late on the recall compared to Rip and Morty, who should have been the opposite, really.
I think it should be alright if he can get the push in and get the wave to crash, but it will still end up in a pretty bad spot. And as you mentioned, the Wukong getting the trade-off. Verax Green got the grubs, now he gets the dragon, he gets the scuttle on the bot side, and he will be maybe looking at to get his grump and maybe get the recall off now because he's only running around with the Sheen. And we see the item difference between junglers now. You have the Sheen on the Wukong, which is like a huge spike in the early game. Meanwhile, you have Skarner with the Giant's bed. But
And
now
Galativ actually
bottom,
level 6 flashes in, Cyclone going on to both of them, rooted up so long for Morty, does not have the ultimate again as yet, and flash forward from Brinken. Will that be the double kill? Yes, it will be. 2 quick kills from a good gank from Galativ.
double kill for the Varus, and we can see that the Wukong now, you have much easier tools now in your team. You have the Varus arrow, you just press the button and say, let's go, let's kill them, and you have the Wukong flashing in with his ultimate. 2 easy kills picked up by the side of 5 fighters, and Jinx wasting both summoners.
And good in wave here, coming in here. I think this is going to be the red taken out pretty handily by Galativ. Smites to confirms it now. Can anything more happen? Moon going in. Impale only hits the clone, nothing else. He's still in there though. El Happy, does he have the ultimate? Shuffle back onto Morty and Moomin, but they managed to walk away. Now El Happy is in trouble. No many shields coming out. He's barely alive, but Versus files on the backside. Galativ files on the other side, but here comes Jinx. She's excited. Ninja Heist. One more auto attack will be enough. W will be dodged away, and that's good sidestep from Ninja Heist to make this a still losing trade. 1 for 2 on top side. Actually, while this was happening, Big Fudge was just diving Mega Hulk.
Ooh, the bottom on the top side, and
Right, we're
in
gonna go
the
back. I wanna see this.
meantime, let's see
So
what
this is
happens
happening.
here.
We don't care. This is the important part.
This is the top lane, the Ornn versus Cassandra, the tank versus tank. And now he will probably call for the yes, that's the ultimate coming
Horn
in, and
knocks up.
he
There's
gets the
no W. Mega
Critical
Hulk is
and
straight
the
up down.
W.
Well played,
Yeah,
by
but the
Fudge.
fight around the red buff, it looked really good for the side of 5 fighters, but then you had people barely surviving
Yeah.
on both sides, and then Jinx getting the reset, almost getting 2 kills, and maybe being able to chase after more people if she got the reset on a little earlier in the fight. But I would say that sometimes you can underestimate the damage of certain champions. Like, you look at this corner and you see, oh, he just has a Giant's belt and another component of Heartsteel. But you have to take to the considerations that those items, they give Skarner so much power because most of his spells, they scale with HP. And since he's playing the Grasp, he wants to get as much damage as possible on his rotation.
True. And honestly, I thought El Happy would have died so much earlier, and that would have given Rip such a good reset. But as on the bottom side, wait, what happened? Was that an ultimate? Oh, there's just some average trading going on into the mid lane. I'm sorry, we completely missed that. Average trading going on into the mid lane, and boom, Rip snipes Ninja Heist.
The rocket snipe giving Jinx another kill, and can we look at the gold difference between AD carries now and seeing how it's looking? Now we see that Jinx is only around 200-300 gold behind, which is not that bad considering that Jinx will probably, at least in my opinion, looking at the game, will probably be outscaling the Varus with the items, with the crit that she's building. She will be such a big threat because she'll have more damage up front. Meanwhile, Varus will have to auto-attack much more to get the damage that he wants to get done.
Yeah. And there's a pretty sizable top lane difference being done as well. There's been no jungle intervention in the top side, and Fudge is up by almost 1,000 gold. And Galativ once more on this red buff.
The Wukong is now trying to invade. He's really confident now, considering they might have known about Skarner being there. And we see now in the top side, there's always some trading going on, but we see Big Fudge with the 20 almost CS lead, as showing the dominance, having the Sunfire Ages already built, and now
And
he's
here
going
comes
in.
the
He's
Ornn.
maybe trying for another solo
Can
model.
Mega stop
Will
it?
we
Yes,
see
he can
all
do
out?
all out, but it doesn't matter because Fudge just bonks him. Mega flashes away, but Fudge just bonks him again, and that's gonna be another solo kill in the top side.
The Mega Hulk does not have enough damage, neither does he have enough HP after using the All Out
No.
to kill the Ornn. But we will see now the Wukong. Is he going to spot
Can
the
he spot
Ornn?
him
Can
in
he?
time? Yes, he can. Big Fudge is in trouble. He's away, but Galatif has the smite, has the flash, has the cyclone as well, and a lot been used by Galatif, but the shutdown onto him. For this, Moomin, good job onto him as well, getting the objective.
Yeah, getting the objective. Another one for the feats of strength. Getting taken by Verax Green, and I think now we see Wukong trying to get as much as possible from the play. He knows that they are on the bot side. He's invading the jungle after killing the Ornn. He knows he's safe to take the camps and get as much as possible from the that play to trade for that dragon, because he wasted so much with the flash, with the ultimate on to kill the Ornn, and he will be able to take both the blue buff and the Gromp and just back off, because we see Skarner already being on the wolves. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, but if we see a stocking of the situation here, we see that despite the low kill count, Verax Green has gotten themselves 6 grubs, or 1-to-1 on Drakes for that, and in the CS department they are pretty much the both teams are pretty much the same. So I'd say this early game has gone slightly better for Green, but nothing of an insane lead as we saw in the previous game. This bot lane, it has stabilized, all things considered, considering how poorly, I mean not really poorly, but how Bringen was controlling Rip's health bar and CSing.
Yeah, you could really see that. And speaking of advantages, I think that maybe not in the gold you could see the advantage that Verax Green have, but they have the Drake, they have 2 sets of grabs which gives them full 6. Later on, you will have the Jinx,
Yeah.
the towers will just melt. You will be able to get the tower reset, get the Jinx going when sieging enemy team, and you have much easier time. As well as mentioning, of course, you have the Ornn. It will be such a big threat in the sideline. We don't underestimate that as well.
Yeah, true. And from what we can see in the side lane, I don't know when Mecha Hulk starts to overpower the Ornn, honestly, because the Ornn just tanks through it. And with the wave, actually, Moomin goes in onto Ninja Heist. He's the target here in the bot side, but here comes the Cyclone from Galativ, and it's a lot of damage from him. Morty is very low. One more attack will not be enough. Flashes away. Now Moomin has to flash away as well. Super Mega Death Rocket goes to Narnia. Goal being hit, and now Bringen with a quarter of his HP. Big. Trying to get some more, does not. A lot of everything used, no one dies. And in the top side, the important part actually can get, yes, Big Fudge gets another solo kill, 3 for 3 in this top side this game.
Big Fudge with the Ornn going crazy. Another solo kill in the top side, and Dekasante just not wanting to probably play this game anymore. He's like, what is this champion? He's a tank, he wants us me. Meanwhile, he's playing the Cassante.
Ornn is up 2,000 gold. Fudge is up 2,000 gold in 15 minutes respectively towards the Cassante.
Yeah, what can I say? Fudge is just that guy.
The marriage,
He is him.
the marriage changes, man.
Yeah, he got the wife buff now.
He got the wife
Remember
buff. So good. Now they're moving. Interestingly, they're moving Ornn into the bot side. I would say this is maybe a bad idea, just because this Herald is up and you do not have TP. But maybe they don't want to go for the Herald yet. And the truly big pressure point that Green has is this Ornn. So I think this Herald take is a bit ill-advised in the current circumstances, but we're going to see if five fighters actually manage, if they want to punish it.
I see now that the Verax Green have started the Herald, and Wukong is not really around there to say to this team to contest, so we'll get taken for free pretty much. And what I want to mention now that we have some time, that Lulu has built Ardent Sensor first item, which I do not recommend a lot of players, because you have to consider that Ardent Sensor gives you the on-hit damage, which means the more you auto, the more damage and the more value you will get.
Actually, Big Fetch might be
And-
in trouble, bringing a lot of damage from this on hit, and Polymorph, like you said, does not stop the on her, and actually the knockup does. Well, I forgot the name of the ability now. On the sideline, we see Gale Eve hitting onto Morty, and again, moving only hits the clone with the impale. Morty is in trouble, still staying alive. Gative, one more Q will be enough to get him down. Now, can Verax Green do anything more? Reset for Jinx coming through, shutdown onto the Wukong, another kill, another shutdown onto the bringing onto the AD carry, and Rip is excited. Jinx is online.
The shield saves the Lulu from there, and the fight that was initiated by five fighters turns out into favor of Verax Green. We have 4 kills now on Jinx. Probably she will have the second item now on the Recall, the Hurricane, that she would most likely want to have, and she will work towards the third crit item, most likely being either the LDR or the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, and we saw how much five fighters had to use up on Fudge. They used the Chain of Corruption, they used the Wild Growth just for Brigand to be very, very, very low and just serve as a get excited proc for Rip. And Green wins the fight handily, get the dragon, and they're now sitting very, very pretty in this game.
They are indeed, and let me finish my talk, my yapping session about
Sorry.
Lulu. With the Ardent Sensor, you do not want to build Ardent first because you want to wait for your teammates to have more items so that they will be able to get more autos in the team fight, that you will get more value from the item itself, the damage and the thing that it gives. And you would want, as a Lulu, as an enchanter, to have more protection for the team early, and the Ardent is more towards later stages when they can get a lot of autos in, when they get the passive from the Ardent in a lot of time, a lot of procs of it. That's why I'm saying, say you have 27 damage from it. Because as I
It's not a
mentioned-
good stat to see.
Because as I mentioned, if you build it first, your team will not be able to get a lot of autos in, and you rather have that Moonstone that will change the shields, change the healing that you give to your team onto an ally with 35% effectiveness, and that will have you will have more protection. And then maybe on the third item you would want the Ardent Sensor when your Varus has as well 2-3 items, when he can get a lot of autos in, that when he would constantly proc the Ardent.
So we see now Green starting off this Atakan. On actually Super Mega Death Rocket, I think just for wave clear, yeah, gets quite a few minutes. But that mid turret goes down. On the bot side, I know that El Hepe had to ultimate the away from Versus, but we can't look at that now because this Atakan is going down. Can Galativ do anything about it? He's on a ward. Lilamumin has the smites down. This game actually misses the smite, but gets it at the end.
Wukong does not have the time to get there and be able to maybe pull off a miracle steal. And we have another game. Maybe this game is a lot of more easy pickup for Verax Green, that they get the attack count buff.
Did we see Shelly go down? The Rift Herald?
I think we completely missed it.
Did it time out?
But if it times out, it spawns automatically either if you are alive on in the place that you're standing in or in the base.
Does it? But
It
no
does.
turret.
Yeah.
Okay, we must have completely missed it. Huh.
I think you just made us look bad.
Okay.
If you didn't mention it, nobody would mention it, and
Fair
we
enough.
would be like, we would get away with it. But now you mention it, and we didn't get away with it. Our fault, you know.
Fair enough. I was just confused. I wanted to talk about that now Green can... They lost the mid tower, sure, but they can use this Atakan together with their Herald to get the mid tower, and then I saw that there's no more Herald, and I got confused.
Hello, Shelly. Where are you?
Gone forever. Now, with the stalking game, it's been a much more not really closer, more like a quieter game than the first one, but nonetheless, Green has managed to carve out a slight advantage, and I think it's gonna come down to the next fight happening in about 1 minute or so on this dragon.
Probably will be. Now you have to consider that a lot of gold in.
Well, actually,
the
Morty
side
might
of
be in
Franklin.
trouble. Flashes away from Hepa's shuffle.
Now that is an important cooldown for firefighters before the
Yeah.
Drake spawn, and it will probably not be up in time for the Drake fight, or maybe if they stall
cooldown.
it enough.
It has a cooldown of 90 seconds, so it's going to be down for about 50 seconds of the dragon's life, and I do not think that Green will let the dragon live for long enough.
Exactly, that's an important summoner. You know, you get the flash from the Milio, but what do you get from getting a flash from the Milio? He will just stand behind and just like be
This ward, like
silly Latino boy, giving the shields, giving the heals.
yeah, TP coming in from Fudge from the top side. Now Green taking some vision from this river. They should do this a lot more often. Bigfoot just casually making an item in the middle of the enemy team. But here comes Galativ onto Morty, who does not have the flash, remember. Now on the top side, actually, more importantly, Brinken is in trouble. He actually dies from the rocket, and Jinx is excited. 2 kills onto him already. Now El Hepe is next, does not have the stream herself, but Rip is very low. Will he go down? Yes, Galativ managed to get him. Now on the bot side, Moomin kills the Azir. Now, can firefighters do anything about it? No. Fourth member dies, and Mecha Hulk will be the last man standing, but he's just a tank and he's already far behind, and it's just gonna be an ace. 2 kills on the side of 2 deaths on the side of Green and 5 on the side of firefighters, and a clean fight from Green.
Very, very good fight for Green. That's an ace, that's the dragon. It really showed that they didn't have the important cooldown of the Azir. He just went in there and, well, he didn't do that much. But we saw the Wukong being able to get the shutdown on the Jinx, but the Jinx, she got excited and she was just melting the enemy team with the items that she got. And now we see a TP from Herper trying to get the big fight, but do they have the damage?
He has the ultimate now, manages to get it onto the Fudge, who just flashes over it and will try to walk away as an horn, as a squirrel, and I think he just manages to get out without any repercussion. No, actually the Pixie was still on it, and a good slow from Ninja Haste and a pretty crucial shutdown onto the Zero from El Hepe.
Nice pickup on the Azir, he gets the kill, he gets to give himself some gold, get the 2 stacks on the Darkseer, gotta remember that, keep stacking boys, you know.
Hey, it's something.
And now since he has the Leandris, he got the damage to be able to kill the Ornn, since Ornn mostly have armor items with the armor boost, their Throne Blade and the Sunfire Aegis and the Unending Despair, so he does not have a lot of them more, not yet
True.
at least.
Now, battle for the scuttle for the vision. Big Fudge is down for 8 more seconds and does not have the TP either. So this is a window for firefighters to actually do something on the top side. But I think the rest of the squad from Verax Green is just slightly too strong for them to do anything, even with the might that is Big Fudge dead.
Yeah, like you get the kill on the Ornn, but what do you get from it? What can you do on the map to get any sort of like gold or any sort of advantage from getting that 1 kill on the side, and also wasting, not maybe wasting, but using that TP cooldown on the Azir?
Yeah. And a quiet member from the team of Green here that I really want to shout out as well has been Moomin. Role swapped into jungle this season, has started playing it a few months ago, and now is sitting deathless in both games. Playing insanely well, facilitating his team so well, good jungle calls, and this Baron at 26 minutes. They took the Baron last game at 25, now this time. Firefighters no, but a lot of damage onto Ninja Heist, but Versus does not manage to kill him. The Super Mega Death Rocket does not kill him either, but what does go down is the Baron. A good call from Green.
Really good call from Green, picking up the Baron pretty easily, zoning off the Wukong with the RA, so he cannot enter the pit. and trying to get the steal. And we see that the Jinx, the 3-item power spike, the 75% crit, she is a monster right now. And we see Virus being only 2.5 items, and he will not be able to match the power level of the Jinx that they have right now. And with the Baron buff, now they're trying to siege the Azir Tower, and
Look at how much agency Grip has, but maybe a bit too much. The melee ult did not come through quickly enough, and the cycle will finish him off. A good shutdown by Galativ. Now, what can the rest of the team from 5 Ivers do? Galativ managed to get out. Brinken is fairly low as well, but it's only Big Fudge and Morty there for now. Moomin joins in as well, but again, it's just the tanks. So there's no damage roll here. On the top side, that happened is not able to get in because of Morty's CC, but Moomin goes down. Good knock up from Fudge, but here comes Zeus. Can he reset this? No, he cannot, because Fudge is dead already, and this is a throw from Green. 3 kills in quick succession.
Jinx got too confident. You got excited from the Azir Tower, from the passive. You step up, you trying to get the Virus, and he just slams the R button on you. The Wukong goes in, gets the knock up, and the Jinx goes down, the most important member of Verax Green. And after that, they get a little bit lost, and we see them as well as that the Ari was a bit late to the party, that she was not in the fight pretty much at all. She came in as the fight was basically over already.
Yeah, and okay, crucially, flashes from the bot side of Green are still up, and this fight, yes, it was a blunder. Yes, you gave up quite some money, but that's about it. The wave states are pretty much neutral. Bot side pushing towards 5 fighters. Top side will be shoved up by Versus. Dragon is coming up in about 30 seconds. All flashes on the map are up apart from the Orns. This next fight will be, I think, the decider who controls the game into going into late game, and it's gonna be around the soul for Green.
Yeah, you're totally right. This dragon is very important. You have all the important summoners on both sides. It just comes down who is the one to dictate. Now we see Verax going in, clearing the vision, starting the dragon. Will 5 fighters be able to go in?
We see that completely misses the ultimate. It goes into nowhere, but on the top side, actually, polymorph onto the Versus. He gets into the Zonius. Red team, actually, Wukong picks up the Baron, and this is the Dragon. This is a very, very disjointed fight from all sides. Now, in the jungle, 2 tanks are digging it out. In the top side, Fudge actually goes down to the enemy team, and Moomin has to flash away. And this is another blunder by the side of Verax Green. They lose the Dragon. They lose 1 death. And it's very, very disjointed, the fight.
Yeah, the Azir going in, missing the ultimate, and then what happened after them being 5 fighters, being able to get the Drake, being able to kill the Ornn, and now trying to siege for the mid tower, and they might be able to just take it. You know, you just face tank, you take it, you say, look at us.
A good charm onto the Lula actually from the bot side. Versus once more. His ultimate is almost up. Foxfire in 1 more second. There you go. Q does not land onto anyone but the clone, but Galadir will go down. Rip is now excited. Bringen will be his next target, and then Mecha Hulk as well. And now this is a good fight, good comeback from Green, and I think they should end it with the Sex Grubs. I think the game is just over here.
Overstepping. I thought maybe they could just take the tower, the face tank, and then just walk away, but Versus getting the flank, getting the kill onto the Lulu, giving the Jinx the passive. Now, will they be able to end the game?
Yes, I think 30 more seconds, 6 grubs, ultimate coming out and he flashes away, but he gets CC'd. He's in Zonia's now, low HP. The chompers actually miss, but the shuffle does nothing. Only Ninja Heist is up, and that's gonna be a 2-0 week for Green.
A summoner has disconnected.
2-0 for Green, a really great finish. Now, this game was more calm until one certain point that the Verax, they flipped on the switch, they had the items on the Jinx, and they were able to go and take control of the game with the tools that they had. GG's to both teams.
GG indeed, and honestly, this was close until honestly, I thought Green not really blew it, but they lost 2 fights in a row. It was starting to look a bit more dicey, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, Green just shows up. Versus comes in from the sideline with that Ari, gets the ultimate up, immediately uses it, cleans up house together with the rest of Green, and they just win the game off of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where both of the teams felt again and they were in a good spot and they make one step too far, which got the other team an opportunity to get something out of that, get the kills. We saw one time the Jinx overstep, the other time we see the team of 5 fighters trying to get something out of the play that they had in the mid lane, but then it turned against them.
Yeah, and well played from Green. Honestly, they were pretty calm and collected the entirety of the series. They did a few blunders, sure, but any team does that. But other than that, they were in the driver's seat for the most of it, and a very, very clean 2-0 this week.
It is indeed, but I think I gotta say this. I think there is one reason that Green won this second game that we missed. Or I maybe didn't miss it, but now I have to point it out another time.
So
If 5 fighters built correctly on Lulu, this game would have been easier. I'm just saying.
so it's all Lula's fault.
Yeah, support gap, gotta point it
Support
out.
gap. Well, maybe. We don't know. In another world, we'd see. But we are going to have a vote for player of the game soon enough. Who would you give it to?
I think this game is really hard because the whole team played really well from the Verax Green. But if I will give it to anyone, I would probably give it this time to Versus because he was able to, in the moments that he needed to step up, he was able to go in, get the charm, and get a great setup for the Jinx to get going in the team fights.
As you're praising him, he joins the call. Hello, Versus, for our interview of the day.
Yo.
2-0, clean week, clean games,
Yes,
no blunders. How does it feel?
It was a few blunders, but we made it happen.
The scoreboard says
Yeah.
2-0, no blunders. GG.
You know, a win is a win, but now that I have a very important question. How does it feel to be that guy that got turbo fed in the first game, and the second game you played more of a role that was relying on your team because you picked up the Ari and you had to do the setups for the Jinx with your charms, with the ultimate. How does it feel to be the guy that made the game so much easier for your carry?
It's good. It's just another day in the office, It's easy for me.
Gotta have the confidence. And after that, now, if you are the enemy mid laner after game one, after they saw your Xerath, what would you think, or is there something that you would want to say to the enemy mid laner after your games today?
Well played. Wasn't easy. I don't know. Peter,
Short and sweet.
it's just easy, I do what I do.
With the solo kills as well, early
Yes,
levels
sir.
in the first game. Very well played, man.
Thank you.
Going into the rest of the season, I know you didn't play last season with Green. You played a few seasons back. You're now against a bit more tougher opponents, with some masters being thrown into the mix in the teams as well. How do you see your chances going into the rest of the season?
Watching these games feels kind of good. Feeling confident. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, I think. But we'll see how the games turns out.
Yeah.
All right. And now I want to also ask not only about your things, but how does the team function with the changes that they got this season? Do you feel confident in the how the team plays? Do you feel like you have good synergy and good communication? Because it showed, especially game one, that you guys, whenever you get a draft that you feel comfortable with, you know what your job is, and everyone seems to be on the same page, and the teams is working good. What are your thoughts about the team dynamic and the team synergy right now in this season?
The synergy and the team overall is good. I like the communications, and we haven't really played much together though. Not a lot of scrims, not a lot of practice as a team, but it's working, you know.
Well, it shows that it's working, I believe. Let me just refresh this here. I believe you're going to be top of the table now. And that is true, although Flower Warriors haven't played some of their games. Still, you're sitting at the top right now, and even no matter what, you're going to have a pretty good score at the end of this week. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And we always finish off these interviews with two questions. What would you say to your team after this match? And what would you say to the opponent's team? So, Five Fighters in this case.
To my team, I would say well played, GG's, and to the other team, I would say good luck next time.
Wow, are you the Iceman of this of this league?
Yeah. I should rename to Chocolatell, the Iceman, you know.
Oh yeah,
You're,
for sure.
you're the Kimi Raikkonen. You're the Kimi Raikkonen of interviews. I like the energy, man. Very thank you for joining us on this interview, and thank you very much to Patrick as well for joining me here. It was insanely fun casting with you.
It was a pleasure being here, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity as well as being able to now interview Versus and get to know Verax Green a little bit more.
Well,
Thank you guys.
yeah.
GG's.
And
Bye-bye.
Bye. See ya, man. And with that, I believe it's gonna be over for us from our side. Those are the two games we had planned for today. We're gonna have more in the future, and for the rest of the season, Mondays are going to usually be focused on Division 2, and Tuesdays are going to be focused on the other divisions because that's how SOL is played mostly. And yeah, thank you again to everyone joining in. Thank you again for Patrick for joining me, and have a great night, everyone.
Thank you so much, and you all have a great night.
Bye.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight,